Real Madrid take on Eibar on Sunday in what will be Zinedine Zidane's 200th game in charge. Shows Shaka Hislop. Are they the team in La Liga that have benefited the most from the break in play?
As we sit right now, you have to say yes. We were talking before fair, and there's not been the kind of transfer speculation around Real Madrid, either players coming or going. So as a player, if you're sitting in that dressing room, you feel a little bit more confident of your own position. And you're happy with that lack of speculation. Given the fact as well that they've got players coming back from injury, you have to feel that they are sitting as nicely as they possibly could have hoped. I say all that as I continue to with the caveat, you're never quite sure what kind of form anybody's going to be in coming off of this break, simply because we've never had to deal with this kind of a situation before. But if you're Real Madrid, I think you're sitting quite happy.
Eden Hazard's looking in decent form in training, apparently scoring a hat-trick the other day, looking very sharp. Is the best yet to come from him?
Let's hope so. Listen, Eden Hazard, before he left Chelsea, before injuries became what seems to be a part of his norm since arriving in Madrid, without question, he was one of the best players in world football. One of the best players in taking players on one-on-one. And I say that with a couple of exceptions, quite a couple of notable exceptions. But you've not seen that since he arrived in Madrid. And he is anxious to prove his worth, given the kind of money that Madrid spent on him and the reputation that he came with. So the timing is good for him. Not only is he just coming off injury, but as I mentioned, everybody kind of coming off of this break, nobody quite match fit. So there's a certain level of parity there that I think works in Eden Hazard's favour.
Zinedine Zidane definitely got one of the deepest squads in Europe. He said the 5 subs neither helps nor hinders them. But is there an argument to be made that it actually can be a bit of a hindrance in the fact that usually to get your team playing well, you need to be consistent with your first 11? How do you manage that when you can have those 5 subs and in La Liga, 12 players to choose from on the bench?
Well, what you've seen Zidane do well is manage that squad. And that is one of the biggest and most important attributes to management in today's football, particularly at clubs with deep benches like Madrid, man management. And Zidane has shown that he can handle that side of it as well as anybody in world football in both his spells in Madrid. I don't see how or why that changes. As much as he's saying there's no drop off in rotating, I think inevitably there is. But it's the right thing to say, it's the right thing for everybody to believe. And now how you manage that going forward, I think it's going to be Zidane's toughest test. You prefer to have those problems than not. And Zidane has handled them better than most.
Should he start Bale?
I don't think so. I don't see why. I think you're asking for a headache there that you've had for some time, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Right now, this squad is more than strong enough without Gareth Bale. You're getting the start against Eibar that you want, a team that you beat 4-0 earlier this season. You come out of this break, again, as much as everybody has question marks, you come up against a team that you should see off quite easily and quite handsomely. You do that, this squad is in the best of form, both on the field and confidence-wise. I just don't know why you throw an uncertainty like Gareth Bale into that mix.
Okay, let's go to the other end of the pitch then. Thibaut Courtois has definitely turned things around for himself this season, because it wasn't easy to follow a fan favourite like Keylor Navas, but he really has made that position his own now. Yeah,
yes. And Zidane has shown no end of confidence in him. I'll be honest. I thought his days were numbered in Madrid. He didn't start very well at all. And I just didn't see how things would turn around. I felt he looked like he just lacked confidence, and just knowing that crowd at the Bernabeu, when they get on your back, it's tough to turn that around. But he's done that with good performances, with clean sheets. You know, it's one thing when you're having a tough time and the crowd are against you and you making 20 saves a game and still you somehow come out of that conceding 2 or 3 goals. But to turn it around now and seal that up with the clean sheets that he has and the solid performances that you've seen from him, I think this is the best of Courtois that we're seeing. We always knew he was wonderfully talented, but I think his experience is starting to show through now in just his own body language, in his own presence in between the sticks. I don't see that changing. I hope it doesn't change, because he is that good a goalkeeper, that important to Real Madrid.
So they're going to be playing at the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium, which is at the training ground Valdebebas, where Real Madrid Castilla usually play, because the works are getting done to the Bernabeu. Do you think that will hinder them? Do you think that it would be better for them to be at their usual home ground, even without the fans?
Yeah, I think it's a hindrance. When you don't play at your usual ground, that's tough, even when it's a quote-unquote home game. When you don't have fans, again, I think that works against you somewhat. But still, we're talking about Real Madrid against Eibar here. They could play in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere, and I'd back Real Madrid every single time.
One last question here. In La Liga, it's the head-to-head rule that decides the league. And obviously, because it's so tight this season between Real Madrid and Barcelona, it's just worth mentioning, because Real Madrid do have that head-to-head rule. And in the 2006-2007 season, that came into play. They had the head-to-head rule then. They finished level on points, and Real Madrid won the title. Do you like to see that as a decider in the league, or would you prefer it to be goal difference?
No, I like head-to-head. And as much as I played my entire career in English football, and it was goal difference, I like head-to-head. And I think it works especially well in Spain when you have the disparity between Barcelona and Real Madrid and everybody else. That it doesn't come down to how heavily you beat the winners of the league, but how you match up with the giants. I like that a lot. I think more leagues should employ that.
So Real Madrid back in action on Sunday against Eibar. Let's see if Zinedine Zidane can mark on his 200th game in charge with a win.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.